Welcome to the Heart of a Champion Leadership Show. I am honored to be with one of my favorite leaders in life, Coach Mike Sheppard. Coach 19 years of college football, 18 years in the NFL. Coach, it's great to have you on the Heart of a Champion today.
Thanks, Chris. Glad to be here.
And it's been amazing getting to know you over the past 15 years through FCA, coaching together at camp, now doing coaches ministry the past 10 years together through FCA Coaches Academy, through 360, through 3D coaching. Just share with us, your story of coaching. How did God take you into coaching and prepare you for really nearly 40 years of coaches ministry?
I'd like a lot of people, when you graduate from college, you're not sure what you want to do. Had a business degree, and I wasn't sure. Played football, baseball in college, and I missed the athletic part when I got out. And one of the coaches grabbed me and pulled me aside one time, and I had helped out coaching for about 4 years after college. I'd worked in the admissions office, and he pulled me aside and said, "Hey, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?"
Wow.
I thought, I don't know, Coach. And he said, "You need to know." He said, "Figure it out." He said, "You ever think about coaching?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "You ought to consider going into coaching. I think you'd be pretty good at it." And so with that confidence in that,
and commissioning, talk about being commissioned into the coaching field.
And for him to say that he felt that way about me was really encouraging. And I helped out coach football and while I was there, and I knew right away that for me that was a lot more fun than that admissions job. As much as I was grateful to be there for that.
Well, because you're a player, you want to be on the field.
I loved it, and so it made sense. So fortunately, the dean of students at our school had a brother at Brigham Young, and who was a offensive line coach, Dave Cragthorpe. Great man. And his wife Barb, Kathy, and I, my wife, best friends.
Wow.
As well as great. He's just a great person. So he told me that maybe he could make something happen there at BYU, and he did. And he and Lavelle Edwards was the coach there at that time. They sent me a letter offering me a chance to become a grad assistant at Brigham Young, and that started the ball rolling. And it didn't take me long to fall in love with just being a coach, even though I had to go back to school to get the master's degree and so forth. It was still so much fun to be out there. I learned so much from Brigham Young and how good they were at that time with throwing the football, better really than anybody in the NFL or in college football.
Jim McMahon, Steve Young.
They were there. I was there when Jimmy was there.
Wow.
And Mark Wilson was our first quarterback. Actually, we had another quarterback right away, Gifford Nielsen, and then Mark Wilson, and then Jim.
Wow.
Yeah, Jim McMahon. So, so much fun, and different styles. The Giff was kind of a three-quarters guy, and he's an All-American, and Mark Wilson was way over the top. He's 6'5 plus.
Wow.
Over the top, and then Jimmy Mack threw from everywhere. He was. So you could
the original Mahomes, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes.
A lot of similarities. So,
well, getting to first meet you about 15 years ago at FCA camp, I heard about your reputation. All the guys you had coached, John Kitten in the NFL, right? The receivers, Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens, T.J. Husmanzada, and all the different guys that you would coach in your NFL pedigree. 18 years in the NFL, 8 teams, but what I really noticed was your heart and how you connected with players, how you related to them. Why did you decide to go into coaches ministry, and as I see, you really coaching the heart of the player?
Yeah, so I think the interesting part about the NFL is when you get there, you never have to tell them to pick it up. Because those guys, they all want to be in the Pro Bowl. They all want to be the best at their position. So they're committed. And if they're confident that you know what you're talking about and that you can help them get better, then they listen and they work hard. And it's just a lot of fun to coach at that level. So, I figured for me that it would just be, it was fun in college. After I left BYU, as we talked about, I had a chance to coach in college for 19 years and learn a whole lot about that from Sid Gilman, former pro coach. I had a chance to watch BYU's passing offense. And then Sid Gilman's, which was Bill Walsh's West Coast offense essentially, and learn that both at Brigham Young and there. And I just had a great chance through all that learning to teach. And I loved it so much that I appreciated the coach, that Don Green, that pulled me aside that one time and said, "Hey, you ought to take a chance at coaching. You might be pretty good at it."
The influence of a coach,
Yeah.
right? You've had them. For me, Bobby Bowden, a wise man once said, I believe it was Billy Graham, that a coach will influence more people in 1 year than most will an entire lifetime. And I know that's part of the reason why you answered God's call to be a coach.
No, without a doubt.
Now, most
I figured that was my road, to be able to do that. And, to serve Him, to serve God, and be able to do what you love.
Yeah.
It can't beat it.
Well, that's what
life.
That's what it's got to be, because most coaches, you could probably agree with, in the NFL, after they retire from coaching, they're done, or they just play golf. You answered the call to go into coaches ministry with FCA. Why?
Because Kathy and I had been to several FCA camps. I mean, we went for somewhere around 25 or 26 years in a row to FCA camp. Took our family. So great, such a great week. Didn't matter if I was with the Cleveland Browns or if I was in college at Cal, or wherever. We brought our family and went to FCA camp. So you fall in love with that, and you see the impact at camp of coaches on players, of other student athletes who are Christian kids on players that aren't. It's a week where everybody gets a chance to enjoy the week. The coach or the parents come, they can watch. The coaches you meet are just outstanding, and they're friends for life. So that whole thing convinced me that FCA was the youth ministry of FCA, and then the coaches ministry, which is what I've fallen into now. Is you just love that because you get a chance to serve Jesus. And one thing I got to mention, Colin Sinclair is our regional vice president in the Pacific Southwest. And I asked him once, we were on a trip together, and I asked him once, why do you do this? Why do you do this? And he just says, Shep, does it get any better than going to work with Jesus every day? And I just thought to myself, no, it doesn't. I mean, this is unbelievably fun, and there's tough times and all that, but you got to raise your own money, for example, for funding, and there's things you got to do, like all jobs, but when it comes right down to it, it doesn't get any better than that. And to be able to watch somebody, help them find the Lord and find His guidance in your life, and start to live their life for Jesus is just a remarkable feeling, and you feel like you're helping them. And
that's right.
And I think it rubs off on your family as well.
Right.
And,
well, Coach, you said the word where He guides, and we believe that where He guides, He provides. And lastly, Coach, what excites you about what God is doing in and through the FCA Coaches Ministry, and how He continues to use you?
Well, I'd say this for one, in coaching, your greatest pleasure is watching somebody improve. And I feel like, for example, if somebody gets better because of you, that's your greatest reward right there. The same is true in FCA Coaches Ministry.
That's right.
If you can impact a coach who's busting his or her tail on their team, on their coaching staff, on whatever their situation is, if you can go in and make an impact on them, not only for Christ, but for your support of them, and that they're not in it alone.
That's right.
Any issues that they have, just getting a chance to serve coaches in the Pacific Southwest region, and under a VP like Colin and the other leaders for FCA in this area, it's just it's my pleasure, and I'm the one that reaps the rewards from that.
That's right. Well, Coach, on behalf of myself and thousands of other coaches, along with our FCA staff, thank you for all that you have done, all that you're doing, and all that you continue to do. It's an honor to serve alongside you, Coach Shep.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you.
All right, here with Coach Mike Sheppard, here in the FCA Coaches booth today, the Heart of a Champion. We will see you in the next episode.